Okay, YouTube, Comcast, and TV, Vivo. So today we're talking about, how long a car could last with these type of conditions that we've already developed for 1934 to 2022. And, being able to know more about the classified forms of the updated items and documents and forms that come with the description of these details. So, it's pretty much looking at least 59,945 different characters within the systematic research engine. So, it's pretty much working with MSN or TransUnion Reflect or MoneyGram Plus, and dealing with those details of $97,453 of $530 max, and dealing with the GDP ratings of $537 is pretty much where you're looking at a standard form of EcoHerb 747, which gets the various point of what that EcoHerb 747 model mean, as it makes more capitalist uh, infrastructure for itself as it builds its construction and infrastructure up, as far as it being interstate highways and buildings around metropolitan areas. And the thing about my proposition of my retail property and my retail property and real estate property on Group, and what I think about those is, I think about, making a bigger city instead of a more longer country. That's been since 1974 of 2012. So, it's pretty much as I became more mature and older for myself, in 1994 to 2035. I wanted it to be more of a urbanized talent. That's basically how Infinity 2012 to 2018 was built. So, I was pretty much working with Infinity of um, Ball Cones, B Cave, Dick Nichols, Little Stacy, Elizabeth Nay. So you're working with those areas of those communities in those counties, and it's pretty much working with at least 785 counties, every community that there is. So that's at least working with at least 785 days of promotions, knowing more about your city of your council, as you know more about 795 miles of reference going out to the common day public at the time. Everybody that's becoming a newer survivor of, Hurricane Katrina, and, knowing the advantage of local terrain at the time is pretty much what we're learning more of my philosophy of my proposition at the time on Fox 7 of What the Tech Radio, and, being able to know that being able to know that at Spotify, PMC is pretty much PMC2 squared is pretty much what we're using our next development of urbanization from 1998 to 2030, and being able to understand more of classification being developed in 1898 to 1936. So it's pretty much as we follow our 1936 rules versus our 1986 rules, and see which prominent decisions get the best treatment, is best for recreation at the time. As you spend more for 33 million, and you get more for the prominent matter to make better benefits more associated with the bigger objective of free enterprise, in the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and the bill statement, and that's pretty much as you making subscriptions for at least $33 million profits. That's pretty much as you making a profit for those meetings. That's pretty much as you making a better statement to promote more for the availance of the production, and being able to know more about 785 different products being sold at the time for at least $785 each. And it's pretty much as you working with different types of items that are ornaments, or ornaments or in that area. So, it's pretty much as you looking at Christmas or your birthday, you find things that imaginate you with your and passions. So, what I would have for my birthday would be a Christmas tree or some ice cream or a catfish stick or a cinnamon stick. So, it's pretty much as you follow more of 2006 of 2012 analysis. That's pretty much when you start to learn more about 6:55 p.m. at 1:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. and understanding more about having a longer day of endured time being elapsed. So it's being able to get a little bit of Amazon in, a little bit of Restaurant Depot in, and a little bit of Enterprise in at the same time. So, that's at least working with 791 months of credentials. So, that's at least getting my 2 semesters filled out, at least full of great hopes and beliefs at the time that we can believe of, with 2,600 to spend. So, it's at least working with, greater exchanges of coordinates that get availed, whether it's $79,826 of profits going every 941 months from February to July, or from August to November, and, being able to use that every 541 months, on Workday, MoneyGram, Gamefly, working it through the systems like that. It's pretty much where you're working on a hotspot that is able to work with you. You just got to know that those resources are available to help you out and work with you on your digital data collection. So I was working with at least $584 million of reference being sold to different prominent situations of 1958 to 2022 in U.S. history. So that's pretty much where that's been, and it's pretty much as we get more started with what we get started on in 2034 and 2050, as we get started with Tarleton State, TCU, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Sam Houston State University, and being able to get started with Sam Houston State University's classification rankings is pretty much what I'm interested in. I believe I want to be able to have one of the brightest classification ranks in the district as I graduate from Sam Houston, so I can be able to be an excellent achiever of 1997 and 2076 as we become more impassioned for the El Paso Springs that we have near town. And the thing that we learned about urbanization in Sam Houston is that my impassions are toward the further country. I like El Paso, I like Amarillo, I like Arlington, I like Lubbock, I like Abilene. I like Lubbock, Lockhart, Lubbock, Lockhart. Um, and the thing is, we like to have fun with those types of subscriptions. So, it's pretty much having at least 59.99 different types of midpoints for those types of objectives. So, as being able to fulfill your data storage and, being able to use more credential data to promote more for the storage of that intuitive acknowledgement. So, you have more descriptions of what it looks like and what you're describing you see at the time. So, that's pretty much what you see in 1954, and that's what you see in 2041 as well. So, that's pretty much as you're looking at 2041 of 256 ounces of season at the time. You're looking at season, whether it's catfish season or whether it's um yeah, whether it's catfish season or whether it's just season in general. So, it's pretty much where you're looking at spicy or original catfish, and being able to understand 974 hours after 19 weeks is over with. So, it's pretty much after you looking at 98 million being transitioned 674 times every 16 years. So, it's pretty much as we making a 16-year deposit, every year, that's worth about 3 million. So, it's pretty much where you're making that instance of that monument. So, it's working with at least hundreds instead of 845 20s. So, at least that's not dollars at that amount. Dollars is about 555 25. Tens is about 25 54. Fives is about 35 45. So yeah, it's pretty good. And 25s, 20 is about 54 64, and that's pretty much a good rating for the 20 area. So, it's pretty much where you're working on at least 565 20s instead of instead of 20, instead of 2 20s. So, it's pretty much where you work on at least for 40 80 20s at the time. So, that's pretty much where you're working with, a bigger institution for banking composites. So, it's working with Compass Bank, and then it's working with Prosperity Bank, and then it's working with Brinks, and Brinks being able to bring in an intuitive acknowledgement of at least 97 74 for the whole company and their own private investments as an individual. And that's just a goal set for just that one objective. So, every time you get it, you can get that amount. So, that's pretty much what that is, as you get more of a lead or a pension of what it is. So, it's pretty much as you figure out what the definition of what the objective is and how it relates to your 5744 deposit. And, it's pretty much just working with Comcast, T-Mobile, Sears, Costco's, Sam's. And, that's pretty much as you figuring out, a big family deposition of Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, Independence Day, 4th of July. You getting a sketch of all type of that good stuff roaming in the communities of Dick Nichols, Balcones, and Lago Vista. So, it's pretty much where you're looking at those those types of environments at the time. So, it's pretty much looking at those types of electrician, whether it's electric systems or power plants. That's part of Austin Energy, and LCRA and Time Warner Cable. So, that's pretty much where we starting our look of how to promote more for what we can intend for in the future of not just PMC two squared transits and transports, but working with EcoLeaf mega platforms as well. So it's pretty much where you're working with both sections of both tyrannies, both main title tyrannies. So this has a section in national state, and it has one in federal state. So it's pretty much where you're looking at the same thing as far as that, as we navigate through more descriptions and more navigations on eco-herb um of eco-herb of Vivo, eco-herb of Vivo, Vine, and Comcast of T-Mobile is pretty much what you're using at the time. So it's pretty much where you're using a good value of those companies to promote more for EcoHerb 747's great digital deposit, as you make a great consumption of over at least $20,000. So it's pretty much making a $20,000 payment in 20s. And they call it a 5446. So it's pretty much where you starting Best Buy, of Radio Shack, of 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 Sam's. And it's pretty much where you're just looking at the dimensions of diagrams with the Sam's tradition of 1924 and 2456, as you look at more looks of hill country, ball cones, and more of Little Stacy, Little Enfield, Elizabeth Nay, Brentwood, and Mabel Davis out there. So it's pretty much where you're looking at those individual counties of coordinates and districts of divisions at the time. So it's looking at least 971 different divisions of counties at the time. So that's pretty much where you just being able to abide by the law and understand more of laws, concerns, and and you know maintain recommending yourself to respectful honors towards your career advice. So it's pretty much where you're just making advice as you becoming a capital advisor for yourself, and being able to use almost the same as anybody else in the world. So that's pretty much as you use $78,494.94 to make a advisory of how you want to instruct your students, or make 1959 of 2094 more acceptable for your Monsters Inc. or for your Madagascar, or for your Surf's Up at the time. So that's pretty much paying attention to AT4 campaigns, Z71 campaigns, Expedition 15 campaigns. So that's pretty much that. So you're looking at that whole deposition, and that's pretty much where you're using the whole point of those types of analysis at the time. So, that's pretty much as we use it more for Imagine. Austin Code, and being able to use different imaginations of creations at the time. So you want to use imagination of creation, where you just being able to use different greater where you use greater common factors, and being able to use at least $9,000 blocks every $100 being made. It's pretty much being said that it's 941 hundreds, that you got 98 41 hundreds with you. So it's pretty much as you making that 50/20 mark for yourself, at least 542 times, as you make something for shrimp, fish, and for, the life of decency at the time. You like that ATS, or you like that CTS, or you like that ATS, CTS, or even the XTS. You maybe even like the XTS in 2018 or 2021. So that's just basically getting started on $59,995 every 6 months at the time. So I was pretty much looking at purple, green, and orange. You know, depositions of 5:35 p.m. to 2:35 p.m. the next week. So that's being able to keep your teeth fresh, being able to use the restroom correctly, being able to um, eat functionally, and use the restroom functionally, and use the shower, and do everything functionally correct for the next 456 weeks, and we're off, and we're going to Italy, we're going to Germany. I'm taking off. I'm telling mom, I'm telling Enterprise, I'm telling everybody, I'm taking off. I'm not about to have it over here. We about to go over to Italy and Germany, and go to Thailand or something, just because it's time for vacation. No, I ain't got time for that. We about to go to vacation, and we're gonna stay there for 8 months, and it's pretty much because I done already collected my $8,000 in trans tax. So it's pretty much doing at least 41 cars over the last 941 hours, over 9 months being deposited, that was there. So I was working on at least 98, 52, 42 weeks of deposits being made, rather than me just being paid just because I was there. That's being paid the base salary. So that's basically where you're getting paid your 30,000. Well, that's pretty much where we're looking for 80,000. So that's pretty much where you're looking for interest pay. Better interest towards your 401k plan, or your W-2 format, or your Declaration of Independence form, or your bill statement form, giving you more privilege and right to, declare more bill statements. Instead of it being 974, it can be 98, 64, 84 different bill statements. So, that's pretty much where you're making more towards that invoice, at building 974 copies of that invoice, and building the bank account up to be at least $974 towards having 100 for every product that you make. So as being able to use every product that you make for the compound service that it is, that the order that you ordered, this being able to put in the order that you ordered, and it compromised the benefit at the time. So it's pretty much what it takes to do that. So that's pretty much where you got to use your checks and balances to employ that, which is at least 98, 84, 44 hundreds. So, it's pretty much where you're using a $6,000 allowance to pay at least 654 different products off, and use it 699 times for 60.99 49 times. So, that's pretty much where you're using, more for the availance of, paying, or 60 49 69 times, 60 40 69 times. So, it's pretty much using more for the internet services on MSN or on TransUnion or on MoneyGram. So, that's pretty much the midpoints on Comcast midpoints productions that the address gets sent to, as far as it being Comcast Grid, EcoHerb 747, or EcoLeaf Mega Platforms, or Billworth Lot Industries and Enterprises, which is a whole invention all in mind since 1941 of 2022. And, that's pretty much where we just started better inventions when we started 2008. That's pretty much where we got started with elementary invention. So, it's pretty much working on 1989 and, 2020, 2041, and, being able to understand more of a deposition of reflection from um, diverse imagery at the time. So, it's pretty much where you're looking at more than just color at the time. You're looking at some type of reflective imagery at the time. So, that's pretty much what always provides a coolery environment for yourself. So, that's pretty much what we use. So yeah, we use Worlds and Adobe and MoneyGram and GameFly to promote more for the valence of this whole mechanism's performance of productions at the time. So, that's a whole code of key right there, performance of production. So, it's pretty much working with PMC2 squared and, working with performance of productions. This is pretty much how fast can you get this interpreted and sent off, being able to understand more of 1 versus 14, and, being able to get it implemented, duplicated, and sent off to every icon in the compound or the component, and, being able to get it sent off and redeclarated. And, that's pretty much where you're using your district sergeants to promote more for that area as you get more availed with capital response or capital reserve investments. So, that's making at least 94.34 every hour, as you make more reference toward that type of money at the time. So, it's pretty much working with at least $94.34 in reference. That's pretty much where we're using 98.34.48 at. So, it's pretty much working with New Deal era of um, New Deal era of, Declaration of Independence. So, that's just being able to go through the normal day subscription. So instead of it being 574% of increased value, it needs to be 974% of increased value. So, that's pretty much where you're using the details of having a greater performance of, knowing the individual components statistics, and, how to promote a better statistic for the individual's particular health, and, being able to make it stick out, more toward, having its own political success for itself. So, it's pretty much where you wanted to make a scenario for yourself, to where you have scenarios and theories from Maynard to 51st to Palmer out there, and it's pretty much how you're using that detailed 59,000 or 5949 hours within the play. So it's pretty much how you're using 984 different slots to promote more for the play as you create 384, 494, and be able to can fill the slots out with the Hawaiian punch or with juice or with milk or with Dasani. You can pour it out with any type of um you could pour it out with any type of chemical at the time. So that's pretty much where you want to be able to produce it with something potent and precious for your human good, and that's pretty much where you want to incite that good stuff from.